Hey guys, I'm going to be sharing the reader's guide to this book that's at the end of it, and then later I'll probably make a video talking about part things in the book. And so here's the reader's guide. Let's get started. It says chapter one is the story, and then it's like an overview, so I'll read it and then the questions that come with it, and then if you want to answer, you can. So, chapter 1, the Tom story. Blake Mayoski, founder of Tom, described the ideal that would come to define Tom's business model. With every pair you purchase, Tom's will give a pair of new shoes to a child, one for one. Key to Tom's growth has been the company's commitment to giving. It attracts customers, inspires employees, generates media attention, and appeals to partners who also want to give back. Blake then identifies the 6 elements that have helped Tom to flourish. These 6 principles are: find your story, face your fears, be resourceful without resources, keep it simple, build trust, and giving is good business. Serve the focus at each of the following chapters. And here comes the question that says, how does a Tom story appeal to customers, employees, business partners, the media? So it's asking, what ways can you think of that what Tom's is doing would appeal to just people like me and you that buy the shoes? Why does it appeal to us to buy a shoe when there's a whole bunch of millions of shoes out there? What appeals people to work there? What appeals to the people that are working for Tom's? What keeps them staying at Tom's working there? And then the people that help Tom's, like all these different companies that partner with Tom's, why do they do it? What appeals to them that Tom's doing, that the Tom's company is doing? And then, of course, the media. What attracts the media? Why do they show coverage of it? And then the second question is, Tom is unusual in that it's a for-profit company that actively incorporates giving into its business model. Can you think of other examples of giving-based businesses? How are these companies similar and different? So they're wanting you to compare and contrast companies that have similar work similar as Tom's. And sorry, my nose is itchy. And yeah. And then the third question: why might a for-profit business like Tom's be able to succeed in its charitable goals more efficiently than a non-for-profit? In what ways do profit business enjoy greater freedoms than non-for-profit? That's a good question because there's so many uh, non-for-profits out there that have to end up doing fundraisers because they need money. 4. What are other global problems that could be addressed by giving-based businesses? What barriers prevent these problems from being addressed by governments and non-for-profit organizations? Wow, there's a lot of things. That's why I think it's important to watch the news. That way you're aware of what's going on in the world. I mean, I think that's the way you can find your story is see what's around you. How can you change maybe what's going on in your neighborhood? Like this bracelet I'll put their website. It's called Eternal Threads, and what you by you buying this, you're helping um people survive, like women. I'm gonna here. Um, but yeah, I'll put this in their website in the description box. But they're an awesome company that helps those in need. And I love this bracelet. It's so cool. The beads are made out. These beads, the big ones, these beads are made out of paper. And so it's kind of, you know, they use what little resources they have to make bracelets for us to wear. I had some others somewhere. They're here somewhere. I'll have to find them later. And I think it's just cool, um, just what people come up with that makes difference in people's lives. Let's see. Uh, when you it's one of those, you buy something, you're helping someone in turn. So it's very similar to Tom's. When you buy like these bracelets or the bags or other things that this company sells, in return, you're helping someone else in need. So, I'll put the link for Eternal Threads website in the description box below, and let's continue. Okay, sorry. Question 5. Could giving could a giving-based business like Tom's have succeeded 10, 20, or 50 years ago? How has consumer culture changed to make the Tom's business model not only viable but also profitable? That's a good question. I meant because society has changed. When our parents, grandparents, great grandparents, so on and so forth lived, times were different. So how could a company like Tom's do something like it said 10 years ago? What would they be doing? What could they do 10 years ago that would change? 20, 30, 40, 50, so on. What would be ideals that they could use to change the world? And then it says words into action. So this is just ways you can put what you're thinking into action. Because action, as we all know, speaks louder than words. And so the first one is connecting needs with your brand. Spend an afternoon walking or driving around your community. Identify 5 social needs that are not being met, such as homelessness, litter, or problems with public transportation. Now, identify 5 products or services that could be created to address these challenges. What's your Alpargata? That was the shoe that he saw in Argentina that inspired him. And it says, Blake, identify the Alpargata as a foreign product with commercial potential in the United States. Try to identify some of your own personal possessions that, in the past, would not have been considered commercially viable. What changed to make these products marketable? And then the third one is, what's the story? Over the next day or so, think about every company that you come in contact with, such as a customer, employer, or passerby, and ask yourself, what's the company's story? How do they communicate their message? Are they missing a storytelling opportunity? So it's like with commercials. We've all seen millions of commercials. They're always on TV. There's some that are like, what's the point of this? How does it have to do with the product and stuff? So how do companies use the technology of our time to get across the point of their product or what they're trying to do? Now we're on chapter 2, finding your story. Straightforward ads. Ford trucks are the toughest. Crest toothpaste makes teeth their whitest. Aren't as effective as they used to be. Even if it's a proven fact that a product is the superior, it might not resonate with customers and clients unless it's embedded in a story. An engaging, meaningful story. Blake observes immediately clarifies your brand's identity. It also attracts customers. If they find the story compelling, they suddenly have a reason to turn a thoughtless decision between competing brands into one that impacts the world in a meaningful way. Plus, customers become part of the story by simply buying your product, a situation that benefits both the company and the customer. Tom's was built upon the story of giving. Chapter 2 possesses the important first question. What's your story? Question 1. As you begin to find your personal story, answer the 3 questions that Blake poses in chapter 2. Pose. If you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do, or what would you do with your time, and what kind of work would you do? What causes you to serve? And I think that's important because some people are driven to do things because of money or that they're going to get something in return. And so it's good to have some things to think about. It's pretty much questions that would answer the question, why am I starting this? Why do I want to start this business? Why do I want to start this entrepreneurial journey down this? Because at the beginning of the chapter, or at the beginning of the book, Blake says he's on his 4th entrepreneurial startup, meaning this is his 4th time trying to think of something that can benefit him as a job, but at the same time helps the society and the community around him. Number two, it says customers are savvier than ever before, and they are often keenly aware of being manipulated by advertising. How can you make sure that people are moved by your story and not manipulated by it? It makes me think of those commercials about, oh, help the kids, that help feed the children. That and those commercials are so like depressing, but at the same time, it makes you want to help those kids, sending money to those that need it, especially in third world countries where it's harder for them to get food. I mean, at least in America, it's a little easier unless you're homeless and then you don't have any money. But question 3. The business model for Tom Shoe is really simple. With every pair you purchase, Tom's will give a pair of new shoes to a child in need, one for one. Could a company exist that gives a different product than they sell? Would this be confusing to customers? That's a good question. Um, Number 4. It says the Tom story flowed out of a significant, powerful experience in Blake's life. The experience that caused him to see the world in a different light. Have you had any experiences like this in your own life? Could any of these experiences serve as a basis for your story? So maybe you've gotten a chance to go volunteer in a foreign country, such as Africa or something. Because like right now, my cousin is the college he goes to, they offer study abroad in Zambia, and I mean something like being able to go to Zambia can change your life and maybe inspire you to want to help. And just getting those opportunities can make you perspective on things change and have a different heart and have a new story or add on to your story already and encourage you to make a change. Um, Number 5, think of a few day-to-day products that you use, like toothpaste, laundry detergent, or underwear. If you could speak directly to the companies that make those products, what advice would you give them? What would make the products more memorable? I think that's cool, just thinking about how maybe companies could change their or how they can make their products seem more appealable to people. Just a second. Um, I was gonna tell you about Eternal Threads that I mentioned earlier, where I got this bracelet. Uh, it says the work that we do involves countless people who contribute their time and skills, and that's the thing. It's people using their talents to help those in need. Let's see, just a second. Here's their work. It says their vision is to bring hope and justice to poor women and children in developing countries. Eternal Threads is dedicated to improving the lives of women and children most at risk of extreme poverty, trafficking, and other forms of exploitation by providing sustainable livelihoods through income-generating projects. It says Eternal Thread establishes sustainable methods of helping women and their families who live in poverty to increase their income, enabling them to educate their children, buy nutritious food and medicine and other basic necessities. Increased livelihood will also help mitigate the risk of trafficking and exploitation, that women and children in extreme poverty face. And their core values are alleviating poverty, empowering women, productive partnership, material and spiritual transformation, sustainable development. Their history. So here's the history, and you can compare it to Tom's, and they have videos. I might link not only their website but video below. It says the vision for Eternal Threads began with the Sophie Tote project in rural villages of South India to provide income to women who were so industrious and hardworking, but also limited to help their families with any additional income except to work in the rice field once or twice a year during harvest time. This initial project with 20 women ultimately resulted in employing 250 women full time. From the Beginning, this project was envisioned as a model to help women in many parts of the world. In 2008, this vision became a reality as Eternal Threads added four new projects in Nepal, Thailand, Madagascar, and Afghanistan. Uh, Part of this vision was the desire to connect women in the developed world to women struggling to survive in the underdeveloped nations. By selling their handiwork, Eternal Thread is able to tell the story of these women, and by purchasing their work, you can be a part of providing them with hope and future. Eternal, here's their story. It says, Eternal Thread began as a mission to help one group of women in India, but has grown to include women in four other countries. Even though these women live in diverse areas of the world, they share the same needs and hope for the future. Because they live in extreme poverty, they need a means of creating income to create their family, to care for their families and preventing their children from suffering the lack of nutrition, health care, education, shelter, and the possibility of being exploited or trafficked. Our name and logo represent the values we invest in our organization and the people we work with. Most of the artisans we endeavor to help have handicraft skills involving threads of one kind or another: wool, silk, cotton, rawhide, plastic twine, uh, cording for jewelry, and others. By giving them sustainable income, we weave threads of hope and justice into their lives and generations beyond. So that's kind of similar to Tom's, how they just used jewelry and stuff um, to make a difference in these women's lives. Uh, just like Tom's use, and they're a part of what is known as free trade or fair trade. And fair trade is an exchange of goods based on principles of economic and social justice. So making sure they get what they deserve. And the countries they help are India, Madagascar, and then they have other parts probably. But I think it's just cool that it took one person's idea of wanting to help women in another country. So I'm definitely going to put links and videos from them in the description so you have an example. Communication breakdown. Notice what brands and products you are most loyal to. How could these companies communicate their stories more efficiently or effectively? Through advertising, corporate partnerships by including giving in their business models, free advertising, like we said before. Okay, I'm through reading this. You can just get to pick the book up, just giving you an example of what's in it. And here, I want to show you this. They make a lot of stuff. They even have like giraffes and stuff. I had one somewhere. I'll have to find it. Make a video showing. But I love this bracelet. Look at it. It's hard to believe that these are made out of paper. It shows that just paper, you can make jewelry out of it. Blue, one of my favorite colors, but I just like it. It's so cool that you take something just like paper. Here's this. I think it was with my pair of shoes. But oh, it was off the flag. I have it. I've got some yarn in it right now. But there's the website toms.com. But it's just cool how people come up with things as simple as that. But I'm gonna watch a video. Here's a list of some other countries that they hope to be helping soon. So they have India, Madagascar, Nepal, Afghanistan, and then Bulgaria, Ghana, Mongolia. Nigeria is coming soon, so they're starting to work with the people there. And then Peru, the Philippines is coming soon too. And then Thailand and Uganda. And let's see. Here, I'm just gonna click on some things that and read off a few things that they have. And there's probably a whole bunch of other um, comment with other companies you know that are like this that do the same thing. Um, I'm clicking on Madagascar. Some of the products you can get there are like silk scarves and shawls. Silk is so soft, and then handmade paper, cards, and bags. it's just cool to think how awesome it is that people are using their talents or giving people the opportunity to buy things using people's talents to bring goods to people that they can buy to help in return you're helping. And then it's just about um, ways that people have helped. I'll probably just put a link with the videos because they're and we can you can click on the video if you want. Um, so I love this company. It's so cool. Um, some of the videos they have are rescuing Nepalese girls. There's even about Afghan schoolgirl. Oh, this is so awesome. Um, so that's that. I mean, it's just so cool. Thinking something just as simple as that shoes or jewelry are being used to make impact in other people. So I'll probably come back with a different video about something else. I don't know. So thank you for watching and start something that matters.